I'm not going to give you just any old boring reason on why you shouldn't ego lift, but instead I'm going to tell you some things that you probably haven't thought about and probably don't think about while you're ego lifting. You may say, "Oh, I don't ego lift, uh, hardly ever ego lifted," and I would say the same thing if you ask me the question. But really, you can probably think of a time, the last time where you ego lifted. Maybe you pushed the weight up a little bit more, you swung the weight, you broke form a little bit past what is recommended. For bicep curls, of course, you can, put a little bit of momentum into it just to be safe, just to get a few extra reps. But there are probably times where you're not using good form just to lift heavier weight. I know I can think of some. I have a home gym. I've been to a commercial gym literally one time in my life. And yeah, sometimes I still ego lift if I'm lazy and I don't want to change the weight. So the first reason is that you're going to get injured. And, it's a common reason, but your risk of injury goes up substantially. And you may say that this is a boring reason, but is it really something you're thinking about when you're ego lifting? You're really telling me you're hitting 120 for bicep curls and you're swinging the weight and you're thinking that you could get injured? Probably not. And injuries are obviously no fun. Right? You get injured, you're out of the gym for a few weeks, few months, and it just completely sucks. So that's the first reason. And the second reason is that you're cheating yourself. You may think this is common, but I'm going to go a little bit more into depth on what that actually means. If you're bicep curling X amount of weight and you're ego lifting, what this really means is that because when you're ego lifting, you're using more momentum, you're using more of other muscles, you're using your legs maybe, depending on the movement. What ego lifting really is unoptimally training. So if you ego lift a certain exercise every single session for the next 3 months, and maybe you gain 10 pounds of strength in that certain lift. If you didn't ego lift, you'd gain maybe 20 pounds of strength, and you would be able to do the weight that you're currently ego lifting at the same time after 3 months with good form, with the correct, proper form. So all it is really just taking a little shortcut to lift some heavy weight, where if you waited a little bit and you trained optimally and you didn't ego lift, you would lift the same weight. And this is an important thing to keep in mind, because when you're ego lifting, you're not thinking of long-term effects. You're thinking of, I want to get this weight up now. I don't want to change the weight. That's one thing for me, right? If I stick to a certain weight, I put on a certain weight, I'm probably not going to remove it. And of course, I myself ego lift from time to time. Of course, when I hit a 1 rep max bench PR, I'm trying to bounce the weight a little bit off my chest, or maybe your bicep curls, trying to get a few extra reps. But when I thought of the certain effects that ego lifting has, and I really sat down to think about it, I realized there's really no point to ego lifting. Like I said before, it just slows down your progress. It's an unoptimal way to lift. So why would you do it? It increases your injury, and over time, you're going to be in worse shape physically, worse shape injury wise, health wise, and you're also going to have less strength overall. Look, you want to see the number go up, you want to see big number go up even bigger. Of course, so do I. But all I'm saying is, ego lifting, as fun as it is in the moment, maybe it's better, helps you to get those couple extra reps. Long term, it is completely unoptimal. And if you're seeing this video on Sunday, your mom is still around, give her a call, give her a hug if you can, and tell her Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for watching.